Morning students, today we are going to see lesson 3 production analysis. What is production analysis? Production is a process of using various material and immaterial inputs in order to make output for consumption. That is, production means process creates economic well-being. The satisfaction of needs originates from the output. Production is the result of cooperation of four factors of production. So let us move on into the lesson. Reproduction analysis. So for a production, four factors of production is needed. That is land, labor, capital, and organization. The land is to make the construction of the industry, and the labor is to work in the production, and the capital means the investment amount made by the you put inside the business by the entrepreneur, and the organization are the people those who are working in a firm, isn't it? For example, manager, assistant manager, executive officer, administrative officer, all these people will be working. That is called organization. For example, in our school, our correspondent, then our principal, vice principal, teachers, and all the other staffs are there, isn't it? So, like that, and in business also there is an organization. So, next we will see about labor. Labor means, according to Marshall, labor represents services provided by the factor labor, which helps in yielding an income to the owner of the labor power. The labor means who's working for the production, isn't it? Labor means simple words that a person worker who is working for the production purpose, helping the producer in yielding income. Next one, state the production function. Production function means only two words, the input and output. Production function refers to the relationship between units of the factors of production, which is input by the businessman who is starting the business, and the resultant quantity of good produce is called as output. That is, the profit or income is called as output. Input means the raw material, the capital, the investment is called as the inputs, and the output is called as profit and income yield by the owners. Next we will see about the marginal factor product of a factor. Marginal product means, already I have told, marginal means is an addition made to the original product, the total product. It is an addition or increment made to the total product when one more unit of the variable input is employed. Marginal means addition. So what the formula for marginal product is equal to change in total product by change in number, or marginal product is equal to TPN minus TPN minus 1. N means number. So any one formula you can learn thoroughly. What is isocost line? Isocost line is a line represent different combinations of inputs. It may be a different products which shows the same amount of cost. So isocost line means what? It is about two commodities. Isocost line is important component in analyzing producer's behavior. The isocost line illustrates the possible combination of two factors. Factors means land and labor together, or capital and organization together. That can be used as given cost and for a given producer's budget. It is otherwise called as ISO price line, or ISO income line, or ISO expenditure line, or total outlay curve. Next we will see about the producer's equilibrium. Producer means, this lesson we are seeing only about the producer. Last lesson we saw about consumption analysis. We saw only about the consumer, that is we are the consumers. Now we are seeing, in this lesson we are going to see only about the producers, what they are doing. So what are the conditions for producers? So there are, the isocost line must be tangent. Tangent means it is a line which touches the curve at any particular point that goes in the same direction. So you can, already I have shown you in the last lesson, isn't it? There will be a tangent line from left to right. That line will be pointed as T, isn't it? So the tangent means it is a line which touches curve at any particular point that goes in the same direction. And next one, at point of tangency, the isoquant curve must be convex to the origin. Convex to the origin means factors of production are substitutable to each other. For example, the capital is substituted to labor, like that. Factors means the land, labor, capital and organization, isn't it? So any two factors are substituted to each other. The capital and labor, the organization and the capital, like that. They intermediate within each other. Next one. What are the reasons for upward sloping curve? So, sloping supply curve. We have seen only till last lesson we have seen downward sloping curve, that is left to right, isn't it? The demand curve will flow from the left to right. But this supply curve, you see, as the price of the commodity increases, the quantum of supply of the commodity also increases. So thus the supply curve has a positive slope from left to right. Next we will see about what are the characteristics of land. So the characteristics of land means in this we are seeing about land, labor, capital and organization which are helping for the production, isn't it? First we are seeing about the characteristics of land. So to start a business or an industry or a factory, a producer first he will see a land to build the construction of the industry, isn't it? So what are the characteristics of land? Land is a primary factor. Primary factor means basic, isn't it? When the producer buys a land, he will construct an industry and he will start the production of the product. Next one is telling about the passive factor. Passive factor means it cannot be produce anything by itself, but it needs a support of other factor also. And next one, the land is a free gift of nature. We know that it's a gift of nature, land, isn't it? Land has no cost of production. No cost of production means no cost there. Cost means expense, isn't it? Cost of production means incurred by a business to produce a product. So there is no cost of production in the land. Land is fixed and in supply. It is inelastic in supply. Inelastic in supply means there is no change in the supply and there is no change in the income price also. When there is fall in supply, there will be fall in price. For example, when there is no water, housing and food, we can take as example. Next one, land is permanent, isn't it? Land is always permanent. It is only in a fixed place. It won't change. It won't move about here and there. Land is immovable. Doesn't move here and there. It is fixed. And land is heterogeneous in nature as it differs in fertility. Heterogeneous means multiple in nature. Land includes all natural resources like woods, grasslands. Quality of lands differ, isn't it? Black soil, red soil, many types of soil are there. So it differs in fertility. According to the land, it differs. Land has alternate uses, isn't it? It can be used for many purposes, for construction of industries, houses, buildings, all these things. Land is subject to law of diminishing returns. Law of diminishing returns means decreasing returns. What are the factors governing elasticity of supply? Nature of the commodity. First we are going to see about the nature of the commodity. Durable goods, that means a long lasting good, like electrical gadgets, mixie, grinder, all these are durable goods, can be stored for a long time. So the producers can wait until they get a higher price. So then only they can start producing. Cost of production means the expense. When production is subject to either constant or increasing return, additional production and therefore increased supply is possible. So the expenses are made on production. Technical condition. In large scale production with huge capital investment, supply cannot be adjusted easily, because when there is a large amount, what will happen? The adjustment will be not convenient to the producer. Time factor. During very short period when supply cannot be adjusted, elasticity of demand is very low. Next we will see about what are the functions of entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means the owner, the business, the person who is starting a business is called as entrepreneur. So initiation, the first function of entrepreneur is initiation. He is an initiator. Initiator means he is a starter of the business. He is starting the business, considering the situation and the availability of resources and planning the entire process of business. He is planning about the business. And next one, innovator. Innovation. Innovation means bringing new things into process. That is new techniques, new technology, new product. Everything will be new model, new methods. A successful entrepreneur is always an innovator. He thinks something new, something modern. So new technology, all these things. Coordination. An organizer applies a particular combination of the factors of production to start and run the business or production. He will have a clear idea of the land, labor, capital and organization and he gathers all these things together, and he coordinate everything together and run a proper business. Control, direction and supervise. All these are done by the entrepreneur, the owner, the businessman, isn't it? He is the owner, so he will control the thing, the industry, the business, he directs everything and he supervises. Risk taking and uncertainty bearing. Risk taking means any loss or damage, any accident, all these things will be taken over only by the entrepreneur. Uncertainty bearing means normal cost of doing business where the payoffs are indefinite based on hopes. Just he has hopes, but it is not accurate profit you get. So this is called as risk taking and uncertainty bearing. All these are the functions of an entrepreneur. He is initiative, innovative, coordinating, and he is risk taking and uncertainty bearing. State and explain the elasticity of supply. Elasticity of supply is nothing but the change in supply to change in price on the part of sellers. It is a degree of responsiveness that change in supply to change in price on the part of sellers. There is a formula for that. You can see the formula. ES, that is the elasticity of supply is ES. So change in quantity S by quantity ES, quantity supply into change in price by P. ES is equal to change in quantity supply by change in price into price by quantity supplied. So this is a formula where the diamond shape is called as change. Q is quantity and P is price. Q represents the supply, P represents the price, and diamond shape denotes a change. Bring out the relationship among total and average and marginal products. What is total product? I will explain to you. It refers to the total amount of commodity produced by the combination of all inputs in a given period is called as total product. That is the land, labor, capital, everything together is formed a total product. What is the average product? It is a result of the total product divided by the total units of the input employed. In other words, it refers to the output per unit of the input. Next one. What is marginal products? Very simple. It is the addition of the increment made to the total product when one more unit of the variable input is applied is called as marginal product. So everything together, all the factors together for mainly for the production is called as total product. Average means it's the compensation between both. That is, it result in total product divided by the total units of the input employed. In other words, it refers to the output per unit of the input. And the marginal means an addition made to the total product is called as marginal product. There is a tabular column given for you, that is stages. Stages mean 3 stages of total product, marginal product and average product. So first stage in total product, I will explain to you the total product. Initially, it increases at an increasing rate and then it increases at an increasing rate and then increases at a decreasing rate. That means it increases at an increasing rate. When the rate is increasing, the supply, the product is also increasing. Then the increases at decreasing rate means when it is the amount is decreasing, it's increasing, isn't it? For example, petrol we can take. It continues to increase at diminishing rate and reaches maximum. It diminishes. Lastly, I have told you, isn't it? First it will increase and then it will diminishes. For example, I told you, if you are hungry, you are taking a food, then what will happen? It started decreasing. Like that only in production. One product is produced means what will happen? Next thing will go on. It continues to increase of a diminishing rate and reaches maximum at production, and later to the stage it diminishes. When the production is finished, what will happen? They will come to an end, isn't it? Like that in the marginal product, at the beginning it increases, then reaches the maximum and starts to decrease. First it reaches the maximum, the marginal product, okay, the addition. But it comes to decrease, starts to decrease. Next one, it continues to, the second stage, it continues to diminish and becomes equal to 0. I have told you last lesson, isn't it? First, like graph, one, it will increase, it will decrease, it will come to 0 and then it becomes negative. In the third stage, it becomes negative. Lastly, we will see about the average product. Average product at the first instant, it increases, then attains maximum. It is equal to marginal product and then begins to diminish It continues to diminish but always greater than 0. But it is always greater than 0 positive. Okay, it doesn't go to negative position. With this we stop in this class, and we will continue in the next class. Thank you students. God bless you all. Stay home, stay safe.